So last tribal was really fucking crazy. Kath called me out in a manner that I did not appreciate being called out. There's a difference between talking about someone's game and calling them out for making moves that you didn't like or that went against you, and then there's a way to go about things that feels much more personal, and this felt personal.
I popped off a little hard in my last tribal council.
The last tribal kind of blew everything up. Meg and I talked to each other. Kath sent me a message this morning, and I haven't listened to it. I don't know if I will before tribal or not. Just honestly for my own mental health.
And also, just everything she was saying was not true. She said that I was working with Rachel, which I am not. I've also said that I've been gunning for her since the beginning of the season, which obviously part of me wanted her gone.
I don't regret putting Meg and Rachel on the spot. However, I do regret the vehicle in which I did it.
And also, then Kath said that I only won last season because my jury was bitter with Richie, which literally just isn't true. If y'all watch last season, you'll see that wasn't true.
I've kind of taken some time away from the game to really assess my actions and stuff. The last time I played was 2 years ago, and I'm a very different person than who I was the last time I played. And not to say I don't love Chaos Kath, but there's certain aspects about her and her gameplay that I don't connect with or align with anymore. And I really had to kind of sit with myself the last couple of days and really assess how I felt. I'm also just shy of being a year sober, so going back to an older version of myself, it's kind of like holding on to a pair of shoes that you wore all throughout college when you were drinking and partying and smoking weed and doing lines of coke, and you just don't give it away because it's so much you consider it still a part of your personality, even though that personality trait is no longer serving you. Anyways, I am not really tuned in with the pulse of the game. I do, however, based on the last tribal, outside of my little explosion, know that Richie is top tier threat. I think I actually played perfectly into his hand, having this big outburst of tribal, because it basically guarantees Meg and Rachel will not work with me. Richie has been flip-flopping with all of the votes. He's been on the right side of the vote every fucking time, which is a big issue.
Last tribal was fun. The reason that really made me get the ball rolling with getting Lena out was at tribal council, when Justin says that he feels a little left out being a new person in this game, and then Lena says something like, you need to be trying harder, or those weren't the exact words she used, but that was that was the message I got of what she was trying to say.
This is my pheromone inspired look. Ooh, the crybaby's back. That's totally my vibe, and kind of been my whole thing this season, trying to be underestimated. I'm not good at this. Here's what I'm doing. I really suck. Trying to just stay under the radar for as long as I can.
I don't trust Justin. I'm so fucking sick of this rhetoric of I'm a new player. This is really hard for me.
Now, everyone's been super quiet. Kath has been MIA, and she was my main squeeze.
I've created a monster. I was helping Justin from the beginning. It's I can't deal with it anymore. So I've personally taken space away from Justin as much as I like him outside of the game. I think that playing with him within this game is not something I want to do anymore, just because final tribal, he's just straight up gonna pull this big redemption arc, which is true. On paper, he has a good final tribal story.
So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Richie's been buddy, and I'm okay, well, you're kind of best player here. I've been doing some calculations. I have a little notebook, and I'm keeping track of who's voting for who, what's been done. And he's been involved in every single vote. And he's been utilizing every single person on this team.
Robbie was telling me Kath also wanted to put votes on Justin, which I was well, that's tea. I can use that to pull Justin in and away from Kath, because Justin and Kath were definitely very close before the other night. I think I'm good with Robbie, but he could be plotting behind my back for all I know, which if he is, that's kind of cool.
In this game, you have to have your lows in order to have your highs. I was riding quite a big high. I made a few blindsides, and this time I was the one to get blindsided. Luckily, it wasn't me. I had immunity, but it was my number one, Lena, who went home, and it was due to the fact from my other number one, Richie. I knew that playing with both of them as my number one was gonna come back to bite me. I don't know how I thought I was ever going to be able to trust Richie. That boy will do anything for a good freaking episode of TV. He loves those gooped moments. Apparently, he threw out to Justin that me, Kath, and Lena were saying Justin's name. And Richie knew he'd get a rise out of Justin and make him nervous and paranoid. He's very easy to do that too. So he pulled him in at the last second and they went Lena. But Justin is so hard to play with. He is always speculating, always spinning webs, always coming up with his hypotheticals. And normally it's fun, but they're so outlandish. He's always crunching way too many numbers. I'm like, please let me breathe.
Justin has been a sneaky sneak. I don't think he's playing the newbie card correctly, like I am. And people are getting to the point where they're sick of these mind games, and people want to lock down and have a vote that is not chaotic, which has been led by Richie.
I think that you might see some unexpected alliances start forming. I've been in contact with Kath, I've been in contact with Meg, and Joseph has reached out.
I know I did say that you could take me out the back and shoot me like Old Yeller once we get Meg out, but I actually would be interested in sitting at Final Tribal with her, with Robbie, or with Joseph. I'd be content with any of them.
Kath did reach out to me yesterday and send me a really long apology. And thinking like emotionally, I wanted her gone. Thinking strategically,
I want to take Kath to the end because not that many people like her. She's rubbed people the wrong way. She's not really having fun. And I don't think some people want to vote for her at the end. So the people that I'm kind of aligned with at the moment, both Robbie and Kath, is excellent for my game because that's who I want to take to the end and get rid of all these other bitches.
I think if we can align and get our ducks in a row and keep it sealed tight, I think that the four of us all can kind of agree. Richie might just be in trouble. He did go from my number one ally to now the number one on my hit list. So you're still my number one in a way, Richie, but just not the way you want to be.
For this week's challenge, each of the final 7 met with me to attend a private screening of one of the most important pieces of performance art in our lifetime. Only one child and his laptop managed to make waves in the culture. This video now stands at 32 million views. Let's take a look at it together and then I'll explain how the challenge goes. I think I speak for all of us when I say that that is one talented child. All right, we are going to do this. You are going to attempt your longest yeah boy ever. Now, this child was yelling, was like screaming, and you do not need to do that. It's totally fine if you go yeah boy. I will start the timer as soon as I hear sound coming out of your mouth, and I will stop it as soon as I cease to hear this sound.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Every finalist gave a valiant and profound yeah boy, but it was Richie who gave the longest, beating everyone else's record by over 30 seconds.
Ugh.
Richie goddamn won immunity by singing or holding a note for over a minute. He is not human. That is insane. I thought my 35 seconds was going to get me the win, and I was hoping so, just so Richie didn't. Out of the 7 of us, the one person I didn't want to win was Richie, and he goddamn won.
I'm like gooped. I'm gagged. I'm gooped.
So me, Joseph, Meg, and Kath, who would have thought us four would be working together?
All I will say is I did not have working with Meg on my bingo card for this season of Survivor.
The emotional Megan is like, I want Kath gone because of how she talked to me at the last tribal. I do not want her in the game. Strategic Megan is like, she's not winning the game after that. I do not think it was a smart game move, so I'm going to use Kath as a number.
I must say I've been having the most fun this game working with Robbie, Meg, and Joseph.
I have had a lot of fun with Robbie, Kath, and Meg. If we somehow have orchestrated exactly what we planned, then tonight will go very well.
Everything just happened in the past 7 minutes, and it's because of Joseph again. Just throwing stuff out there. Justin's panicking because Joseph flat out told him that he was voting for Justin and had the numbers to do so, which doesn't make logical sense, but Justin's been panicking this whole time about being voted out.
I think Justin genuinely believes me that he's going home.
Joseph told you your fate is sealed. Who does he have as numbers?
Joseph was basically sharing with me today that I'm going home. He told me he has the numbers and that it splits best for his game. And I don't want to be like half and just swear at everyone. So I'm trying to figure out how to be respectful, but also call him the fuck out.
First of all, working with Justin is an absolute trip. He is very paranoid, but he is also very loyal. So I've kind of backed myself into a corner where I have to work with him and I have to keep him in this game because if he's on the jury, then he will be bitter against me.
I was on the phone with Justin when I received the message, and he was down on himself, going nuts, talking about all the stuff he's going to say at Tribal, how he's going to blow it up. And I was like, don't lose your fight, Justin. You got this. We can keep you in this game.
We're going to try to make Justin think he's the vote and go somewhere else. Richie is immune, so obviously it's going to be Rachel.
That way, when Justin does hopefully stay, Justin's still on my side.
I think my suspicion is that Joseph is throwing Justin's name out there to attempt to get an advantage played, and they're actually targeting me, whoever they are. I'm assuming Kath, maybe Robbie, maybe even Meg.
So we have a little villains group chat. We've had it since, villains days. Me, Robbie, Kath, and Justin. We were chatting in it this week after Tribal Council, and then, because I trust my villains, I throw in, but Joseph wrote down my name, so I'd like to see him go sooner than later. Right after I send that, I get a message from Joseph saying, I'd appreciate if you didn't throw my name out or something like that. I was like, oh my god, who leaked that to you? Because, he was right, I was throwing his name out. He goes, I don't think I've seen a leakier vote than the villains chat. So there's a mole in the villains chat that was ratting us out to Joseph. So whoever this mole is was just trying to make me look bad and pull Joseph in as a number. Sometimes I just want to pull all my hair out, but it's okay. We're having fun.
This is bonkers. This is honestly probably the most crucial vote of the game, and personally, I have made my peace with how I've played this game and with what happened last Tribal. I'm not closed off to working with Kath. Quite frankly, I think after last Tribal, Kath has made herself someone very appealing to take to the end. But, oh man, I had a little bit of a notebook page here that was just crossing off lines and talking through. I probably spent 30 minutes trying to figure out everything that was going on. I don't know what's going on. Oh my gosh, this is chaos.
All right, y'all. All right. Let's get started. But before we do, please welcome back from Ponderosa, Vince and Lena voted out at the last tribal council. And it does, Vince. It does. All right. Well, welcome everybody back to Tribal Council. First things first, Richie, congratulations on winning immunity this week. How do you feel?
Terrible, honestly. No, I feel good about the immunity win, of course. I'm proud of myself. But this past hour has been so stressful, and I just want it to get over with.
Yeah, sure. This past hour has been stressful, but also last week was very stressful. However, you were sort of not in the crossfire of everything that happened. How badly did you think you needed immunity this week?
I think I needed it. Well, yeah, for all I know, they were all plotting against me behind my back. So for all I know, I needed it. Like my life depended on it. But it did feel good to be out of the crossfire last week, because I feel like every other tribal council I kind of was in the middle of it a little bit. So yeah, I took a breather. Hopefully the breather continues.
Yeah, we will see. Justin, last time you were saying that like people weren't really talking to you and that maybe everybody, like Richie was saying, is plotting behind your back. How do you feel this week?
Oh, I was told like 25 minutes ago that I'm going home, so I feel wonderful. The joke's on you all. I'm already home, so ta-da, this is my home.
So everybody told you you're going home?
No, one person, but one person's enough.
Who? Do you want to
One
say
person's
name?
enough.
Did you want to say a name, Justin?
I don't know. Do they want to say
Does-
their name?
Yeah, does this mystery person want to out themselves?
I feel like I'm just outing myself all the time. It's something that I'm quite used to, so I'll out myself, yeah.
Joseph, that kind of surprises me because last time y'all were talking about, the newbies need to build up their numbers and try to get out these returners, and then now you're targeting your other newbie?
Well, yeah, it's a great facade, don't you think? I mean, if I have the last newbie in the game, I feel like I've won for the newbie. So I don't even need to go to Final Tribal Council. As long as I've got ahead of Justin, I feel like I've won.
Okay,
Say
all right.
that again with a different shirt on, maybe.
Well, if I get murdered, which I know is not going to happen, at least I've been killed in something fabulous.
Why do
And
you
you can
know
come visit
it's
the body at the morgue.
Yeah. How do you know for sure that that's not going to happen?
The last 36 hours have been, I guess, very interesting. And for me, I feel like a lot of people have realized it's a very pivotal part of the game. And there have been more than 3 people tell me that I'm clearly not in the running, which is fine. And that makes me quite confident that I'm going to go further because I'm apparently not as a threat as other people. And I think everyone can agree that there are bigger threats than me here.
Rachel, last time you used your idol and managed to block quite a few votes, maybe even the majority of them. Do you feel like you are seen as a big threat?
Absolutely. Why not? I'll just say it. Everyone sees me as a giant threat. La-di-da. As I said last time, perceptions about pairings and groups, some are true, some are not. And I really think it's not fully about me. I don't know that the votes would have been on me had Meg not won immunity, I'll be frank. And I've made my peace with the game I have played because I think everyone is a threat, and everyone who gets to the end, I think really, whether or not everyone believes it, I think everyone who gets to the end deserves to be there for one reason or another. So
Sure. Meg, I mean, reading into what Rachel was saying, you don't have immunity this time. Are you afraid that you're going to be the vote?
I mean, like the past 2 tribal councils, I've been like, it's me. So like even last time when I literally had immunity, I was like, if I didn't have immunity, it would have been me. And I, still got attacked even though I had immunity. So like obviously I am nervous. I don't think that like, I don't know, like whatever reasoning for why people wanted me to go home the past 2 tribals just like has magically gone away. Like I still am nervous that it could be me.
Interesting. Kath, last week there was a bit of an explosion of fireworks and whatnot. What's been the fallout of the conflict from last week?
I took some time away from the game after last tribal. Just some personal stuff came up, and I have spoken to the people I need to speak to based on last tribal and the fallout. And I have made peace with that. So, sometimes it's like you put your foot in your mouth and that's okay. I think to go off of what Meg said, it is and what people have been saying, it is a pivotal vote. And I empathize just in the sense that, like, I know my name has been floating out there. Yeah, it's scary. Definitely, had a lot of Pepto-Bismol this morning. So we'll see what happens. But I did what I did last tribal. I made my bed. I got to lay in it. So.
Sure. And Robbie, I mean, you're kind of also in an interesting position, at least in my view. You have like Joseph and Justin, drama over newbie stuff, Rachel, Meg, and Kath, drama from last time, Richie's immune, and you're here as well. Like, where do you think you fit in with the dynamics of the tribe right now?
I don't know, Ethan. I feel like I'm kind of on the outside looking in for this tribal, and I was a little bit, I was surprised by how the vote fell last time. I think everyone is aware of that. But I think, it's a game, and you can realize and rationalize game decisions and still kind of try and move forward with those that you trust. And, the game should be ever evolving, but like someone said last time, you can't play this game without trusting someone. And even though they might have wronged you or lied to you or fibbed you or whatever they had to do for their game, you have to kind of rely on others to get further in this game. You can't do it alone. So I definitely feel like I'm in an interesting spot where, like, I could easily be, a target as well. I wouldn't be surprised if my name was thrown out there at this point. I mean, I feel like everyone should have been. If it hasn't, it's kind of insulting. I'm just hoping that the people that I have put trust into and proven loyalty to just know that I will continue to do so.
For sure. Okay. All right. Seems like this is a tense tribal. We're not doing too much conversation. I think because we're all very focused on where the chess pieces are on this board. These are the questions I have for everybody, unless anybody else has anything they would like to say. Advantage, perhaps. Okay. All right. I will bring you all one by one into the voting booth. We will see who will become the third jury member in Zoom Survivor Season 9, Heroes versus Villains. Good luck to you all. You cannot vote for Richie.
Okay. So the person I am voting for. Okay, the person I'm voting for.
You came to me with a deal, a day late and $1 short. Sorry, Joseph.
Rachel, let's go. All right, boom, done. Let's go next.
I smell it's done. I'm going with Kath, so.
Oh my god, this is chaos. I really, 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 really hope this works.
Meg swears she's voting Kath. I think Joseph and Robbie are playing us. I'm taking a big risk here. I'm gonna vote for Kath.
Listen, Rachel, I've been gunning for you for quite some time. Third strike, and I'm out if I don't get you. And if I don't get you this time, then I hope you make it to the end, because you've escaped it each and every time. So, sorry, Rachel, this one's for you.
The votes are in, and I will read the votes. But before I do, if anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you would like to play it, now would be the time to do so. All right, I will read the votes. Once the votes are read, the decision is final, and the person voted out will be asked to leave the Zoom call immediately. Here we go. First vote, Joseph. Second vote, Kath. Third vote, Rachel. Fourth vote, Rachel. 2 votes, Rachel. Fifth vote, Kath. 2 votes, Kath. 2 votes, Rachel. Sixth vote, Rachel, the third member of our jury.
Oh,
Rachel, I'm so sorry. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you very much for being able to make it tonight and doing this tribal council. Please stay tuned for further scheduling within the Discord. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna.
Knew it was coming. I had a gut feeling that that Meg and Robbie and Kath and Joseph were seeing Richie and Justin and I as a threat. And I think that it was honestly Joseph at the last minute coming up to Justin and saying, "Hey, Justin, it's you." I think really is what did it, and kind of confirmed for me that that was what was happening, because it's never usually, unless you're Dana. I'm sorry, Dana. It's never who you say it's gonna be, right? So I had a feeling it was actually on me, and they were just trying to get Justin to freak out, which Justin did. And yeah, I was not optimistic, let me put it that way. I played both my idols. I played them both correctly. Thanks, Lena and Kath. But oh, what a ride. Honestly, I'm so relieved. I'm so relieved. I am extremely glad that it ended the way it did. That I got to go out on a high, playing my idol correctly and standing up for myself. And I've been planning my freaking jury speech forever. So I'm going to come back and crush it and have everyone tell me that they wish they could have voted for me. Sucks on them. They voted me out. It's okay. I'm really glad I played this season. I'm really glad it's over. And I'm really, really glad that I'm on the jury again. Honestly, that was my goal the whole time. I just wanted to make it to the jury again. So, yay. Thanks, Ethan.